What's going on, my light ones? It's your boy MoashDMC, and we're back again. Today, we're going to be talking about something very, very special to me, and that is the one, the only, the biggest of the big mom. I call her Slim Mom because, honestly, when she was young, she was looking mighty fine to me, too. Well, I say me, too, because I know you guys thought she was fine, too. I mean, you guys love every single One Piece woman, basically. So, Big Mom, she's no different. But the reason why I'm talking about Big Mom today is because it's adding on to something very special, something very unique, something I'm bringing you guys on. So join us on this journey, the deep dive into the Yonko. Today we're going to be talking about none other than the one, the only Big Mom. You know, it's come a time in One Piece where I think everything is coming full circle, and things are beginning to reveal themselves slowly but surely. Take the Yonko for an instance. We got to see the Yonko possibly following Big Mom Kaido. It was such a short while ago where we were discussing what has to happen in order for Luffy to take down the Yonko. We saw him invade the Yonko territory, take out their top dogs, Katakuri and Cracker, and one even proclaimed to be the strongest in the group in Katakuri was then defeated with the very technique he mastered for so long in his own life. And that in itself is the great thing about One Piece. You never know what you're gonna get. Shout out Forrest Gump. Mama said life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And that's true. The only thing we can do with One Piece is theorize, guess, and wait in anticipation. Oh, how we wait. One person you really can't leave waiting, though, is Big Mom. The longer you wait, there's a high chance that she may get a little bit agitated. When Big Mom gets mad, you already know how it goes down, especially when it comes to food. I mean, look at us, for instance. When we have to wait for our food, we get a little mad. Hangry is a thing. We do get hangry. Out of all the Yonkos, I feel that we know the most about Big Mom. Looking at the other ones, we had Whitebeard, he's deceased. Blackbeard is one shady mofo. Shanks, I have no idea. And we can only make guesses, and we will make the greatest guess. So stay tuned for that. Shout out Parvisions. And Big Mom. And Kaido's just a war-hungry Oni. We're still waiting for his backstory. The clock's ticking, man. We need it. I just mentioned all the Yonkos, so not even just Big Mom, but looking at all the Yonkos, they almost directly reflect things we see on a daily basis. But today, I'm not going to be focusing on all the Yonkos. I'll be focusing on the soul-snatching, cake-eating, kid-popping fantasy that is the biggest of the Big Mom. But to be specific, the Yonko reflect a certain system our real world has in place currently. When you take a step back and look at the Yonko system and the roles they play in One Piece on a macro scale, you start to realize Oda may have modeled each Yonko after our real-world elements, not like the various real-world elements we see and emphasize in Skypiea and Fishman Island. Our very first hint of Big Mom was all the way back on Thriller Bark when we got the Vera card from Lola. It was a very interesting way to introduce Big Mom because Lola made it seem as though she would help the Straw Hats for the sake of their daughter, but when we look at it now, oh, how she was so wrong. Her very next appearance, even though shrouded in darkness, and we all know how Oda loves the silhouettes, we got a full sense of her and the threat level that a Yonko can present. In just a few pages, we got the gist of what Big Mom is all about. Some can call it power and holding the rule with an iron belly, but what Big Mom is all about is food and collecting intelligence, and that's where her power comes from, literally. Thinking about her hunger pangs and the power of her children, they rely heavily on food. But now I've mentioned two things that are the bulk of Big Mom's power and influence on the world, but it also helps her remain in the Yonko position besides the power that she wields herself. So now let's talk about them. Early on, I had mentioned that the Yonkos have a huge similarity to the things we deal with on a daily, and I truly meant it. If you don't believe me, allow me to show you the connection between the real world and One Piece. First, I shall tackle the food aspect. You see, from what we've seen with Big Mom is that she likes to collect many things or have the best of everything. Children of all races, so much that she is willing to give money to Caesar, the mad scientist, in order to create giants that she can't have herself because of things of her past. And it's funny, the reason why she can't have the giants is her lack of control, what she still lacks today. I mean, she imprisons people, things, and other species in another dimension just so she can watch her collection grow. To me, it sounds like Big Mom's a hoarder. It sounds like jail. It sounds like the zoo. I mean, the list goes on. But the main thing to focus on with this, she offers protection for exchange of currency, whether money, your soul, or food. That alone sounds like something we really do know. And that's the mob. And the first thing about the mob is you don't talk about it. Big Mom, in a sense, is running her territories as such. She protects them in exchange for food or souls. You see, in the real world, the mob or the Yakuza are gangs that operate in the gaps of the government. Big Mom has a huge operation making her more akin to organized crime. She claims her territory is a utopia where all races and species can live in harmony, while theoretically true, it's not all rosy in practice. That being said, outside of her land, the government does not enforce equality and they barely protect you from the ravaging pirates in the New World. It's pretty established that no pirate would dare step onto Big Mom's territory without thinking 15 times about it. So honestly speaking, her land does sound better than most places under the world government protection. But what are the trade-offs though? Well, first by law, each citizen of Thailand must donate 1 month of their lifespan every 6 months as a fee, or else they must leave. Though you can enter or live within there with very little worries, your freedom is then their sacrifice. Big Mom gives a death penalty to anyone who attempts to leave. You see, not everyone can be born superhuman with great ambitions or be lucky enough to find a devil fruit. So if I was a normal person living in the New World, considering how dangerous the New World really is, I may actually fold and live within Big Mom's territory over the off chance I might be overrun by pirates or enslaved by the celestial dragons. Big Mom kind of enforces a different form of servitude, where there is a restricted but visible amount of freedom rather than under the world government. The world government asks for a heavenly tribute to get their protection, whereas Big Mom's heavenly tribute has various amount of options, where again food is the primary accepted currency. You see, the Tea Party also plays a big part in showing the type of power Big Mom has, but I'll shelve that for now. Continuing on with the connections, Big Mom's representation of power and food continues. Before recent, the power balance was split between the Marines, Warlords, and the Yonkos. Mentioning that each of the Yonkos hold presence over things tied to the real world, the power of food in our lives are very much controlled by a select few, just how all the best places for ingredients are either under Big Mom's protection or her fist. She holds a virtual monopoly and arguably the largest food sources we've seen worldwide. She basically kidnaps or forces the world's greatest chefs to work under her, and when she claims the territory, it's very obvious how domineering her tactics are when it comes to production standards. I mean, she works the nation to the bone, expecting monthly 2 tons of candy from Fishman Island. Does this sound like a whole industry we have in our real world? Hashtag Nestle not so sweet. Think of Thailand and how Big Mom sends her children like Tamago and Peckhams as the 10 companies that control every large food and beverage brand in the world. Nestle, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Unilever, Danone, General Mills, Kellogg's, Mars, Associated British Foods, and Mondelez. I mean, the list goes on. I have to be honest with you, when I was doing research for my video, I was like, I never heard of some of these companies, but looking into it and how they have the chokehold on the food market making billions a year, I was astonished. Any one of these companies sound like Big Mom. Even large chains like McDonald's or Walmart can be seen as soul-sucking operations, and that definitely reminds you of Big Mom in a lot of ways. Big Mom is shown to be a mother to all those who accept her and brings down the gauntlet on those who oppose her. And the fact that she's also known to have such a huge reach when it comes to gathering information is even that more terrifying. One good example is looking at her family and her army. The sheer fact that she has chess piece soldiers means you can look at her as the queen, but she can also use these pawns to do her dirty work. Then looking at her knights, her real children, and how all their devil fruits are related to food in some way, I mean, that can't all be luck, right? Her reach is also shown in the visuals of what's supposed to be a wholesome song, but reading the lyrics, you're shocked. It reminded me of that one song, Pumped Up Kicks. You watch her sing and dance, but the visuals are lens flattened for the materials, but in this case, the food and ingredients for the Tea Party. And I think I use that to branch over to the next piece of Big Mom's power, and that's intelligence. Unlike the other 3 Yonkos, Big Mom is known to be able to gather or gain information. It was hammered home by the words of Vito and Peckhams. Peckhams told Luffy what would happen to Zeph and the people of Kamabakan Kingdom if they were not able to attend the Tea Party. Vito said not even the demons of hell could deny the invitation. So how does this connect to the real world, you may ask? The better question is, how does it not? The gathering of information was tasked to her children, the homies, and associates that feared her. Looking at the other Yonkos, she's the most interactive and feared because of it. Whitebeard wasn't actively raiding countries, Kaido operated through dealings with Joker, Blackbeard is pretty fresh, and Shanks, who knows? Me and Parvision have a good idea, but we'll save that for a later day. To put a name and how it correlates to the real world, let's go with the CIA. They collect and analyze foreign intelligence and conduct covert action. To me, that sounds a lot like how some of her children operate, but not just them, but also CP0. And why is this important? Well, because look at who Big Mom invited to her Tea Party, and the fact that none of them refused shows 1, the power Big Mom has, but also her connections. Kaido, yes, also has connections to CP0 through transactions involving weapons, but what of Big Mom? Looking at the big guests she invited, they're kings in their own right, and the fact they showed up means that Big Mom has some type of relationship with them. Meaning that adds more to the web of people that can help her gather what she needs. Just like we can easily open our phone a couple clicks and find out about the spouse of our favorite actor, Big Mom can pick up a Denden Mushi and find out about the family of a pirate who may have had dealings with any one of these underworld emperors or within their domain of reach. The most notable ones of these underworld emperors are Stussy of CP0 and Big News Morgan. Why, you may ask? It's Big News! The one person's reach who probably matches Big Mom, he has big scoops, the intel, and the influence to make you want to do or believe what he says. It's glorious how we can sway the emotions of the masses with one article in the flapping wings of some news coups. How he gathers that intel is not really known, but one way we do know is through Stussy herself. She also has a knack for gathering information. She may not have the influence like Morgan's, but in exchange for giving him information, he gives her the world economy's newspaper report. Stussy's relationship to Big Mom may be a bit ambiguous, seeing as though she thought Stussy was the queen of the Pleasure District. She has to have some unique ties or seemingly a close relationship because she would call Big Mom Lin Lin instead of Mama. Nonetheless, the more you look at the Yonkos, the more you'll see how each of them make up a bulk of what runs our world too. They're known as the 4 great emperors that rule parts of the world with their power, and each of their power has a means behind it or a driving force. Big Mom's is food and information. Her character is not only based on things like Alice in the Wonderland, but her sporadic behavior reminds you that of a child rather than a big mom. And one thing we know about children is that they love their food. Connecting back to the Rock's Mystery Dream video, and I'll tag it down below, it seems like Big Mom's way of pursuing the end goal seems to be through controlling food and information. And honestly, in terms of world domination, that seems like a pretty efficient way of controlling the world. As we already highlighted, some of those companies pretty much dominated the world. You can go anywhere and know Coca-Cola or McDonald's. Big Mom is a huge puzzle piece that I want to highlight, and Parvision is actually going to cover Kaido on his channel. I will react to help connect it too, but with these puzzle pieces in place, our next major video is going to highlight the biggest missing puzzle piece that may even be bigger than Big Mom and Kaido combined, and has been discussed in every arc in the post time skip after entering the Grand Line. So make sure to share this video and check out all the videos that Parvision and I are presenting, because the finale of this series is going to play a big role in the future of One Piece. And like I said at the end of every single video, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell button to come back next time and remain enlightened, y'all. Peace.